This is the Horror Pack that just arrived in the mail. This is Horror Pack, the monthly subscription service where every single month you get yourself 4 randomly selected Blu-rays and or DVDs in the horror genre. And unless you looked to the very end of this video or somehow have the ability to see through the packaging, you probably have no idea what's going to be inside. So stay tuned. This is Horror Pack, by the way, for May 2018. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this review, the Horror Pack delivers every single month a selection of 4 DVDs, 4 Blu-rays, and or, I guess you could technically subscribe to have both DVDs and Blu-rays. It seems a little too much. You probably don't necessarily need to have both DVDs and Blu-rays delivered to your door. Although, to be fair, I still have many of my horror titles both in the Blu-ray category and the DVD category. I somehow seem to think in the back of my mind, well, if I have my collection kind of set up that if I'm going to somebody's house that doesn't so happen to have a Blu-ray and is still living in 1994, then I could bring the DVD format of that movie. I'm trying to overthink myself, really, instead of just thinking about my own collection. Anyways, every single month, Horror Pack delivers horror titles to your door, and let's find out, without further ado, what those titles are. I'm going to grab Hank here. Yes, unless you've skipped to the very end of this video, or you've seen other unbagging videos, hopefully this will be the one that you're going to, you already know what those titles are. I don't, though, and I'm probably certain that some of you guys don't know, but we're going to open this up together as I normally do. I'll pull one at a time out. We'll look at it, we'll discuss it, we'll digest it, and then it'll go right here. Probably, yeah, right here. And then we'll go to the next title, the next title, the next title, until we've looked at all 4. Okay, so we'll grab the first title we'll discuss. This is the Last House on the Left, the collector's edition. Never seen, to be honest, The Last House on the Left. It's written and directed by Wes Craven. I know, it's probably ridiculous for me to say that. The read-up on the back. Before horror fans saw the current wave of shockers featuring fiercely hostile villains, Wes Craven delivered this important genre landmark science fiction, horror, and fantasy film review that's thrilling, disturbing, action-packed, and filled with unrelenting terror. On the way back to a rock concert, two teenagers, Sandra Kessel and Lucy Grantham, are kidnapped by a gang of escaped convicts. Although they put up a fight of their lives, the girls are drugged, tossed in a car trunk, and driven into the woods by the savage, murderous gang, only to wake up to a horror they could have only imagined. Filled with shocks, twists, turns, and action, this knuckle-whitening film never lets us under the almost unbearable dramatic tension, says Robert Ebert. The movie was released in 1972, despite for the fact that the front of the cover does look like it's relatively new. It is a 1972 release, and it's got 84 minutes of runtime. Special features include audio commentary by Wes Craven and producer Sean Cunningham, audio commentary with actors David Hess, Mark Scheffler, and Fred Lincoln. Still standing, the legacy of The Last House on the Left featurette with Wes Craven, celluloid crime of the century documentary, scoring The Last House featurette, tales that'll tear your heart out, unfinished short film by Wes Craven, deleted scene, Mary dying at the lake, never before seen footage, It's Only a Movie featurette, outtakes and dailies, and forbidden footage, as well as a theatrical trailer. There's a lot going on feature-wise on this particular release. Again, looking at the front, you would almost think it's a remake, but it is the original 1972 Last House on the Left. Gonna have to eventually give that a watch. I feel like I'm doing a disservice to the horror genre by having never watched The Last House on the Left. By the way, before we have a look at the next one, somebody says, God, just get to it. Let me know down below in the comment section if there is a horror film that people always talk about, or it's kind of like the staple horror film, specifically maybe not necessarily House on the Left, but let's say Psycho, or let's say Friday the 13th. Tell me a well discussed over the years movie that is kind of the staple for horror fans, and a movie you've never watched. Let me know down below in the comment section. Next one we have is the Stonehearst Asylum, starring Kate Beckinsale I don't recognize this movie one bit, and yet it's got a considerable cast of characters. Kate Beckinsale, Jim Sturgis, Brendan Gleeson, Ben Kingsley, and one Michael Caine. From the mind of Edgar Allan Poe. Never again heard of it. When young Dr. Edward Newgate, played by Jim Sturgis, arrives in Stonehearst Asylum in search of an apprenticeship, he is warmly welcomed by Superintendent Dr. Lamb, played by Ben Kingsley, and a mesmerizing woman by the name of Eliza Graves, played by Kate Beckinsale. Edward is intrigued by Lamb's modern methods of treating the insane until a series of unusual events lead him to make a horrifying discovery, exposing Lamb's utopia and pushing Edward to the limits of his conscience. Inspired by a short story by Edgar Allan Poe, Stonehearst Asylum is a tale in which nobody is who they are or what they appear to be. Also stars Michael Caine, Brendan Gleeson, and David Thewlis. Special features only have a making of featurette. When was this released? It says 112 minutes. It says, 2013. It must have come directly to DVD and or Blu-ray and or digital. I've never ever heard of this movie. If you've heard of this movie, let me know down below. Give that a watch. Moving along, we have The Black Dahlia Haunting, a Brandon Slagle film. Horror Pack Limited Edition Director's Cut starring Devani Pinn, Britt Griffith, and Cleve Hall. Los Angeles, 1947, an aspiring actress named Elizabeth Short is found brutally murdered in an empty parking lot. The media dubs her the Black Dahlia due to her penchants for dark clothing. Her murder remains unsolved to this day. Los Angeles Now, a young woman, Holly, is visiting from New York City after she is informed of the brutal murder of her father and stepmother by their younger brother, Tyler, who is blind. Upon meeting Tyler's psychiatrist, Dr. Owen, Holly soon becomes aware that she is not in full possession of the facts surrounding the murder. Plagued by violent dreams, Tyler has been drawing the face of a woman he could never possibly met, a woman identical to Elizabeth Short. This was released in 2017 by Jaguar Motion Pictures, and it has a runtime of 81 minutes. Interesting. And last but certainly not least, I always find myself saying that, but last but certainly not least, Peter Salela, and Vinnie Curran star in Resolution. Puts the cabin in the woods to shame. In an abandoned cabin on the edge of Indian Reservation, Mike, played by Peter, botched last name, Salela, stages a risky intervention to force his friend Chris, played by Vinnie Curran, off meth and into rehab. But what begins as an attempt to save a friend's life takes an unexpected turn when an ominous threat starts appearing around the house, and they realize that Chris's addictions are the least of their worries. One of the most talked about discoveries of the festival circuit, Resolution, is a genre-bending horror at its most bone-chilling. Resolution includes, for special features, an interview with filmmakers, parody videos, trailers, outtakes, and unseen footage, exclusive intros, and cast and crew commentaries. This was released in 2012 with a runtime of 93 minutes, which is almost hard to see because it's of the browner sort of font. It's 93 minutes there. So here are the titles that we got inside the horror pack for this month, which happens so much to be May 2018. We got Resolution, The Black Dahlia Haunting, Stonehearst Asylum, never heard of it, and The Last House on the Left. As a side note, I also want to commend the horror pack that when you get all these titles, you generally get at least one, I want to say, retro title, and this one being The Last House on the Left, so I do appreciate that. You get some really interesting titles, some of which I've never even heard of, but I'll have to give a watch and see how good those are. I'm interested about this one, too, because it's got some big-name talent. Must have come out directly to DVD and Blu-ray. Want to have all these delivered to your house every single month? You may not necessarily get this one, as this is now May, and, well, we are now into June, actually. So May is, it's gone. I hope you weren't too attached to this month's package because it's already gone. But you can still get June's pack delivered to your house, and all the other months after June delivered to your house as well by subscribing to the Horror Pack. I'll put all the information down below. Speaking of also subscribing, make sure you hit that little subscribe button down below. Of course, that will guarantee that when new videos are coming to this channel, you'll never miss out. And missing out can really suck sometimes. I've missed out on other things in life, and I always thought to myself, if I had only acted sooner. Act sooner. That's my pledge. That's my credo. Act sooner. Hit that little subscribe button. New videos coming your way. Kind of package that all up into a nice little ball. More videos, guys, like I said, will be coming your way. More unboxings of subscription services. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.